we're back with another episode.
All right, we ready?
Let's go.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler.
I was ready. Now I'm ready.
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. We are back at it again. We are bringing some new flavor in your ear.
Here comes a brand new flavor in your.
Here comes the brand new flavor in your ear.
We know that your favorite part of this podcast is when we sing. So
absolutely, we're a
just
singing
gonna
podcast.
Keep singing
until. Yeah, we're just gonna do what we want to do.
This is our podcast.
It's our podcast. We do what we want. We're adults. Anyway, how was your week this past week?
My week was a week that weeked. You know, what can I say?
Okay, nothing exciting happened?
No, I had, you know, when you're like, you feel so busy all week, like the week doesn't stop. You feel like you never catch a breath and you're like, what did I do? Like you just.
You have nothing to show for it.
It's like a life week. Like your life is just, there's just shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my week.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's awesome for you.
I had a really fun, like, stay at home, watch movies with my friend day, Saturday.
I was like, during the week, I was like, wow.
No, Saturday.
Oh.
So that was nice because it was like life stopped for a second.
That's good.
Felt good. Watched some film.
Porn?
Yeah, me and my friends like to get together and watch porn.
I love that for y'all.
Real nice bonding experience. We all take notes, talk about likes and dislikes. Saw a lot of good ones this weekend. No notes.
That's awesome.
No notes.
I love that for y'all.
Yeah.
It's tightening your friendship.
Honestly, more people should do that.
I definitely think so too.
What a fun little group activity.
My friends and I, we did that in high school.
Really?
When the Paris Hilton, was it the Paris Hilton?
Oh, what a sex tape.
But it was an actual VHS. Oh no, was it a DVD?
You popped in the Paris Hilton sex tape?
Yeah.
I would die. I would die to have been old enough to have done that.
Yeah, it was not mine. I did not own it.
Liar.
I did not own it. But
also, we do not condone the watching of people's sex tapes.
I was in high school. This was over 20 years ago.
What an iconic moment.
And of course, we were just sitting there like, this is weird. We turned this off, and we turned it off.
To watch a white woman's sex tape. One Night in Paris, 2004. Man.
Okay, no, then it wasn't hers then. It was somebody else's.
It could have been 2004. Or it came out in 2004. You just watched it.
Could have been. Because we were all still friends then.
When do you think you watched it?
This was in high school. It was somebody's sex tape. Maybe because Kim Kardashian didn't come out until... when did that come out? You're going to mess up your search engine.
Dude, you know, I'll be at work. We just like Google, like I have my computer open at work and we'll Google. A lot of the times we're listening to music and I'll be like, oh, what movie was this from? And like while I'm charting, I'll just look it up really quick. And someone will ask something not super inappropriate, but just like off that you wouldn't normally look. And I was like, I can't look it up on my work computer.
I actually got a virus on one of my work computers. I'm serious.
Up.
So this one particular day I worked for private practice OBGYN. And so we were talking about the Atlanta Housewives. And this was like in the very, I think it was the second season of the Housewives when Kim Zolciak was still dating Big Papa. And so the doctor was like, well, what does Big Papa look like? Because nobody's ever seen him. So I was like, oh, let's just Google it real quick. And I don't even think I Googled it. I think at Yahoo News it or whatever. So of course I put Big Papa in the thing and all this porn just comes up. And I'm like, oh my God, but we finally find the picture of him. And then the next day we come into work and the whole computer just starts going haywire. So she had to call like an IT person to come and take the virus off. But
you're like, listen, it was all in the name of science.
She was the one who said, look it up. I'm like, this is your building, so you do what you want. This is your computer.
The Kim Kardashian sex tape was released in 2007.
Oh, no, then. Mm-mm.
Who are you watching?
I think it was Paris Hilton. Maybe she's had one multiple. I don't know.
I mean, what year do you think it was?
Because this is my senior year in high school, 2002.
2002.
I could have swore it was hers, but it was somebody's. Anyway.
Maybe. Okay, maybe I had the date wrong.
It was awkward and we turned it off. It was so lame.
It is so lame. Weird watching
we
people
probably watched like
sex.
30 seconds of it. We were just like, this is dumb. Like, turn this shit off.
That is such a like high schooly thing to do.
Exactly.
We would always go like on teen chat room on sleepovers and then people would tell you nasty stuff on the computer and everyone would like scream. Like, ah!
See, y'all had cell phones. We had pagers in like 2 ways.
Yeah.
I never had one.
Or like you would like someone gets a dick pic and you're like, ah.
No, we didn't have cell phones then to send dick pics.
Oh. What a loss.
You just saw the dick in person.
You're just taking mental image. You're like, I gotta tell everyone about this. I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, Johnny's dick is huge. It's so small. I don't even know how the hell we got on that. Anyway.
Anyway, all that to say,
I brought it up.
How
that's
was
why.
yeah, of course, I would never. How was your week?
My week was actually pretty cool. We had an appreciation at my job for rehab week, month, or something. I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was rehab week.
Yeah.
Wait, so that's, why did I think that was just like we picked a random week to do rehab week?
I think we did. Because y'all's month is in April. No. When is OT month? We celebrated on the podcast. I just don't remember.
April. Well, we also celebrated rehab month at the hospital, but I thought that was just specific to our hospital. They like picked an arbitrary month to be rehab or a week to be rehab.
No, that's a real thing. Like rehab week is a real thing.
Okay,
like,
what did y'all do? So I can bitch about my job later.
Well, they basically did like
April's OT month.
We just had like half the day where we saw patients, and then the other part we like were forced to interact with each other and like play cornhole, and we had like a big potluck where they asked everybody to bring a dish, and I'm like, you're appreciating me. And everybody was like, oh my God, I made it vegetarian. I really need y'all to hear my heart.
It's not appreciation if we make the food.
Exactly.
That's not appreciation.
But it's also not appreciation when you force people to interact with people. Everybody's not an extrovert. Like some of us are introverts, and we don't like to be around people, and I don't think we should be forced to do that. But it was a nice gesture because I was very appreciative that they thought enough of us to say, yes, we want to honor you by forcing you to see all your patients in the morning.
We had a little something every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the week. Like Monday was a coffee bar. And you know what? Comparison really is the thief of joy, because I walked into the office and someone was like, hey, there's pastries and coffee. And I was happy because I was like, I don't have to get my own breakfast and there's coffee. Great. Until another coworker was like, yeah, it's all from Costco. Remember when they used to get us like Einstein bagels? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Fuck these Costco bagels. Pastries is trash.
Fuck these dry ass bagels.
I was so happy. And I was like, you know what? You're 100% right. This is bullshit.
Well, we got a, what did we get? We got a battery bank.
A battery bank?
With the hospital's name on it. Like, you know, one of those like portable chargers
like a Mophie.
Yeah. But it's like a big one that has the logo on it. I'm like, would have been nice to not have the logo on there so people don't know where I work. But okay.
We also
that in public.
They did breakfast one day. They did a Mario Kart party, which like I'm not gonna go play video games on the clock. No,
because then you're still expected to get your productivity.
Yeah, because I have shit I have to do, and then you're gonna get mad at me. No, and then they did other stuff, but the thing that irked me the most was the chocolate fountain.
Y'all still doing that shit?
We are still doing that after COVID. And there's just something that ain't right about a chocolate fountain.
People don't wash their hands. Like, if you ever notice your coworkers, I can guarantee you most of your coworkers 90% of the time do not wash their hands.
There are a lot of things that were okay before 2019.
No, we were not.
They were okay socially. You didn't think about them as much.
No.
Okay.
Name one.
Bowling.
No, you still wash your hands before
now I look at bowling completely different. But I'm just saying there were a lot of things culturally in the zeitgeist that I didn't think twice about. And now I'm like, oh, we would never. Chocolate fountains. I will never. Because of COVID. You're disgusting. Bowling, not doing it. COVID.
No. People are gross. They don't wash their hands.
So, yeah, I forgot about rehab week.
Yeah, so they did that for us, and we had but it was on like a Thursday, and then, but we didn't get to leave work early. I was like, wow, what a way to appreciate me by not letting me leave
A true rehab week would be making upper management at the hospital have to do my job. Doctors to have to do my job.
Absolutely.
I had a doctor walk into my eval today. It was me and PT together. I was crouched in front of a patient, literally like eye to eye talking to them. The PT was leaning on the, like, not bar, but countertop behind me. We were both talking to the patient. The doctor, woman, female, barrels in, steps over the physical therapist, steps into my personal bubble, doesn't address either of us, just starts talking to the patient.
See, I'm a bodyguard when it comes to that. So when they walk in with all their residents, no, I don't start barking, but I just let them know as soon as they walk in, I'm like, I'm in the middle of my evaluation. I need you to give me about 10, 15 minutes. And they look like, what? Yes, I said what I said, and I'm not stopping.
I was so thrown off because I was like, surely you're not going to step over a human being, step into someone else's personal space to address this
because
person.
they don't think about, they're so inconsiderate and they don't think about what they're doing. And this is like, I think even now, because I've done it so much, some of the doctors are just like, they'll stand there quietly. Like I had a patient in the ICU and I was finishing up an eval and I was like, y'all need to give me about 5 to 10 minutes. And so they have all their residents. So it's like 13 of them and they're all just standing quiet. And I was like, all right, sir, I'm going to need you to be quiet. Uncross your legs. I'm going to take your blood pressure one more time. Just don't talk or anything. When I tell you, you could hear a pin drop in there. Before I left, I was like, wow, I can't believe I actually had y'all to be quiet the entire time.
That's great for you.
Shows me how powerful I am.
I'm worried. I'm not, I just, ugh.
It annoys me. But that's why you have to teach them. You have to teach them. And if you keep just saying, surely they should know. They don't. They haven't got the point.
Because I'm like, you're a grown ass adult woman.
They don't care. They don't. This is why you should tell them all the time.
And then the patient's like, that's my primary care doctor. She's so sweet. I'm like, really? Because she was just acting like a bitch.
No, but then they come in and the patient's like, oh, I really want to ask you some questions. And I'm like, MDs, stop coming into the room, rushing these patients because they genuinely want to talk to you. And if you see another clinician in there, I don't care who you think it is. I don't care if you think it's a nurse, the CNA, maintenance, whatever the case may be. If you see another person in the room, wait until they leave and then let the patient have your undivided attention because you know that if that were your family member, you would want to do the same thing.
Because you're still going to write in your little chart 30 minutes spent,
which is a lie.
On one time, which is always bullshit.
It's a lie. But other than that,
anyway.
my week was actually really good. I pressure washed my driveway. This is the parts of home ownership that they don't tell you about. You just think, oh, home ownership is about decor
and trap.
Just decorating your house, but it's not. You have to pressure wash or you have to get somebody to do it. I wasn't gonna pay nobody $400 to pressure wash that shit because I can do it myself. Because you think I don't think about the labor in the sun.
I do know about
and they use your water, which rightfully so, but you're not going to use my water and I'm going to pay you $400? Yeah. I can just do that myself.
You want to come pressure wash my driveway?
Hell, fuck no. Fuck you, bitch. Unless you're paying.
God damn.
How much you paying?
Lunch.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But also too, I told you I met my new neighbor, the wife, and then I finally met the husband yesterday, or while I was pressure washing. It was so funny because they are Southeast Asian. And so the wife says to me, oh, this is my husband. So if you need anything, if you need any help with anything, he's here to help you.
Because I won't be doing it.
And I said, she was like, if you need help cutting your grass or anything. And I'm like, well, thank you, ma'am, for offering up your husband to me. But I actually cut my own grass, or when I don't feel like it, I actually hire somebody to do it. But thank you for offering your husband. So it was very nice.
That is very nice.
So, yeah. But other than that, it was a very productive week.
Okay.
All right, you ready to get on into this?
Let's dive in. We could make this episode short and sweet. I feel like we could do it.
I doubt it.
I do like to talk. I'm a gift gab.
Well, let's talk about some gifts that people are not really using properly. Hackers. Now, I feel like we have asked whomever these hackers on the dark web, the light web, I don't know what other kind of web that this is.
Web.
The web, to really use their powers for good, right? And I feel like, unfortunately, they haven't heard our cry. So you were telling me something about a particular company that just got hacked.
Yeah, so I feel like we haven't been able to get Clorox wipes since the pandemic started.
Really?
I feel like I can never fucking find Clorox wipes.
I always find them.
Where? You also live in the middle of nowhere.
No, we have a lot of... We're getting a Chick-fil-A, and it's opening next month. Thank you very much.
Wait, really?
Yes. They're halfway finished with that building.
You still live in the middle of nowhere.
No, I don't. We have an HEB. We have a Costco.
They're all within the last 12 months you've gotten those things.
No. The HEB was 3 years ago.
Okay.
It was right at the beginning of COVID. Thank you. We have a Starbucks.
Horrible time to open at HEB.
Chipotle just opened last month.
Okay, anyway, she lives places where no one buys cleaning supplies. In the city, it's been very hard to find Clorox wipes. Since the pandemic started, they've never had Clorox brand wipes.
I buy them all the time.
Okay, well now even less, because Clorox was the victim of a cyber attack. It attacked their IT system. They had to input a bunch of shit manually. So if you couldn't find Clorox wipes, that's why. My question is, why are all these big name companies getting cyber attacked?
But okay, hackers, hear me, please. Well, please. Okay, what does Clorox do for you that says, yes, they're going to be our targets? Why not the government for student loans? Like, we keep begging. I'm begging you. I'll come and pressure wash your front lawn.
I'm thinking because if you go after a big brand name, there's urgency to get their company back, so they'll pay whatever you're asking. Like, they were asking for $30 million or something to get the casinos back online.
They hacked the gas lines.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Did you see gas is like $7 a gallon in California?
Ain't no way I would live there.
No. Mm-mm. And I saw this whole TikTok, which,
Now
as we know,
multimillionaire.
might as well be a peer-reviewed article about how they drill in California. Like, the reason gas is so expensive in California is because there are so many cars there. The gas has to be this certain kind of gas where the emissions aren't so awful for the air. Mm-hmm. That's why it costs so much. But then they drill all this gas. They send it out to other countries. We import other gas, and that's what they sell. $7 a gallon.
There's no way.
It's insane.
I would never go anywhere.
You couldn't afford to.
I'd be biking it up. Actually, I wouldn't. I would just work from home.
It's like all those articles that run that are like, if you make if you make $1 million in California annually, you're technically only bringing home like $450,000. That does not sit right with me.
Let me tell you something.
Absolutely not. You got me. I would move to Texas.
You lost your damn mind.
No,
you lost your
and
damn
that's
mind.
I would become the most staunch Republican you've ever met in your entire
For real.
life. I'd be like, my money,
my taxes pay for this.
I cannot, because you're passionate. Because we're passionate about keeping our fucking money.
Ooh. I would definitely become a Republican if I lived in California.
150%.
Absolutely.
And that's why they all moved to Austin, Texas. And then they're like, whoa, too Republican.
Because the Republican here is very different from the Republican in California. Just saying. The Republican here is like, kill everybody. And the Republican there is just like, hey, watch my money. I'd
like my paycheck to be my paycheck.
Exactly.
You know?
But here it's very different. It's a
different world. But yeah, so
totally
everyone's getting cyber hacked. Which this feels like a movie where cyber attacks happen slowly, and then like big shit pops off, robots are taking over.
It's probably the government doing that shit.
Probably.
The government hires hackers, and I'm quite sure these
US
hackers are
Fed loans. That's what I need hacked.
That's Mohila. Hack them. Allegedly. This is all for entertainment purposes and jokes.
I would never.
We're not telling you to do it. Wink wink. But I'm just saying, like, come on. I would come and pressure wash your driveway.
There's no way that student loan servers have the kind of security.
No, you cannot. They don't have state of the art
Caesars
security.
And fucking MGM Grand in Las Vegas have to have way better security than the freaking Fed loans.
Exactly. Yeah, it's fucked up. All I'm saying is, this is where you get really stick it to the man. That's how I know it's the government, because they haven't hacked Sallie Mae yet.
Yeah, the good stuff.
They're hacking all the stuff that like people really care about, other than student loans.
That's true. Wells Fargo's gonna get hacked. I can feel it.
They've already been hacked.
For what? For what?
They hacked Visa at one point years ago. Target.
Oh, I remember the big Target
Christmas.
hack. Yeah, and everyone's information got stolen.
Yeah, it was definitely the government. Allegedly. Anyway, I'll tell you what else is the government. Sometimes people do things and they think they're gonna get away with it, and sometimes you do for a while, but then sometimes it catches up with you. This man legit has been a fugitive for the past 32 years.
That's
and
longer than I've been alive.
I know, well, partially for me. Anyway, but he basically committed a crime where he attempted to shoot his friend in 1991. And this man was just caught the other day in Mexico. He was convicted, but he was about to be sentenced, and somehow he got away. Of course, it's 1991. Who's done
Everyone got away in the 90s.
Exactly. And so they finally got him. And so now he's brought to justice. I don't know if they're gonna what they're gonna sentence him
I
to
just feel like,
but
and you don't have to agree with me.
Oh, okay. You didn't give him a chance.
But I'm like, at what point do you get to win? Like,
never.
You've evaded the justice system for 30 years. I feel like that's a win.
Because it's not double jeopardy, so you can't.
I know, but
unless he tried to shoot.
I just feel like shit. You worked pretty hard. Also, how'd they get you in Mexico? Isn't that the whole point? You get to go to Mexico and then you don't have to deal with the U.S. justice system.
Yeah, but ever since that wall debacle, they're like, no, take all your people back.
That little wall situation.
I would love for Mexico to be like, you know what? Since y'all want to deport people back here, we're deporting all your fucking people back to the United States.
Okay, did you just see that we got a bunch of, we did a prisoner swap with people in, I want to say Iran?
For what? For who? Brittany Griner was the last one, right? Well, that was national news.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you right now. Prisoner swap. And prisoner swaps are the craziest thing. Okay. 5 Americans detained in Iran. Mm-hmm. We got them back.
Why were they there?
I'll tell you.
Because I feel like, didn't we leave? Or we left Afghanistan?
They released as a plane. We left Afghanistan. I don't know how all that shit works. I know I feel like we should.
Iran, Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan are 3 different places. on the same continent. Correct?
Listen.
Don't have me out here sounding stupid. We're not geologists, okay?
We're not geologists.
Geographers. Whatever. We are not history
What
gurus.
were you trying to say that time? And I was like, yeah. And you were trying to say geographers. And you kept saying geologists. That's what it was.
Well, geologist is the study of rocks, right? I don't know.
Geologist is the study of rocks. Geography is the study of the land. Cartographers is the study of maps.
Who?
Cartographers.
You just heard that from some
No,
TikTok.
I read a book. So stop trying to ban the books.
Stop with your GRE words. It's unbecoming of you.
5 Americans who had been imprisoned in Iran were allowed to leave the country. After 2 years of high-stakes negotiations, they agreed to unfreeze $6 billion of Iranian oil to dismiss federal charges against those 5 people, or the 5 Iranians accused of violating U.S. sanctions.
Okay, so here's my question. Who is involved in negotiations? Like, what does your job look like? Like, do you clock in at 8 o'clock in the morning, get on the phone with these people and say, hey, can we negotiate today? And they say no, and this goes on for 2 fucking years. Like, how does that work?
My thing is, like, okay, in the grand scheme, American lives, that no one wants to be imprisoned in fucking Iran. I get
America.
it.
Nobody wants to be in prison in America.
True. But I'm always thinking, like, that is so crazy to me that we're like, okay, yeah, give us these people back and we'll give you all of this shit you've been asking for.
That's how you know this world is not real.
Yeah, or like, oh, we'll give you this, like, high-profile criminal, but you got to give us all these people. Like, what the fuck?
Why are we bartering human lives?
That's crazy to me.
We should not be bartering human lives. Like, that is the dumbest thing in the world.
It's nice to know that each of their lives was worth like $1 billion, though.
I guess. They'll never be able to work again. Can you imagine the PTSD that these people are going to have to deal with?
They were in a fucking Iranian prison.
Remember, well, you probably were too young. So when we first went off to war, Bush went off to war against Afghanistan trying to find Osama bin Laden. Remember there were these the 4 prisoners of war, and there was this black lady, a white lady, Jessica Lynch. That sounds Jessica familiar. Lynch, and then there was a black lady and 2 white men. They were the first to be captured in prison of war. And the way they looked, they were scared shitless. And I think they were prisoners of war for, I don't know if it was for a month. I don't think it was for like a year or anything like that. But they ended up getting them back. But they just looked like they were, as we say back in the day, shell-shocked. It was insane. I
just need to know what they're in prison for. Sorry.
It doesn't matter. Anyway.
It doesn't matter.
Nah.
I can't, okay, because I'm just thinking, they're keeping these people alive because they know they're bargaining chips, right? But that doesn't mean they have to keep you mentally together.
And depending on who you were, they know you don't know anything. But why would they why wouldn't they just kill you?
Obviously. I cannot imagine what the fuck these people went through.
I'd tell everything. That's why you can't.
I would never sign an NDA. As soon as I got back on American soil, I'd be like, who wants to write?
Oprah.
I need a ghostwriter. Who wants to sit down? Oprah
Robin
Gale,
Roberts.
Put it up. Get me on fucking Instagram Live. I'm
Barbara
singing like
Walters.
a canary. I don't care if you kill me. I went through all this shit.
Absolutely.
We're making money off of it.
Absolutely.
Speaking of NDAs, did you see Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane?
Specifically where? No.
Have you ever seen her?
No, we don't run in the same circles.
So weird. First of all, understandable. She was on a podcast talking about how Diddy sent her and the rest of Danity Kane, and I think allegedly, and like the Notorious B.I.G. estate and other people, basically NDAs saying you can have a percentage of the rights, I guess, to your songs, and all of these things. But you need to sign this NDA saying you'll never talk poorly about me, your experiences with me, or with Bad Boy Records.
How much was he giving?
Nothing. Like a couple hundred, like maybe $1,000. Something weird. Like, no. There's no way.
No, listen, here's the thing. Signing NDAs, there's nothing wrong with signing an NDA, right? The problem is that you have to be careful about what you sign and what you can talk about. Because at the end of the day, you should not be able to silence people's stories. And if it paints you in a negative light, that's unfortunately their perception of you, right? To a degree. But I feel like in the entertainment industry, there are so many different dog whistles and so many things that are attached to each other that it could have potentially put multiple people in the limelight of negativity.
Yeah.
Just say that.
He was like, you can have some of the publishing rights back. But
well, because he tried to make it seem like he was being all nice, trying to get it back to him.
And that's what they were. And so she went on this podcast and she basically read the letter she received. And she was like...
That's how you know some shit's about to pop off.
She was like, I will get $800 and I will never be able to talk about any of the shit he did to me.
Hell no.
And I don't know if you've been on fucking Blind Item TikTok, Diddy TikTok right now, but a storm is brewing.
It is. They've been saying that for a few months, that some shit is about to pop off with him, because even the fact that he came out and was like, oh, I want to give people their publishing back. No. Don't give them their publishing back. Give them the back pay from all the shit you benefited from because of their publishing. It should have been theirs in the very beginning.
He just like whored out a bunch of these people. Yeah. Basically, he was like the music industry's pimp.
And Birdman did the same thing, allegedly.
And that's why, okay, did you see Justin Bieber the other day posted on Instagram about Diddy?
What?
It was the weirdest.
This man.
It was the weirdest thing. Because remember, we just talked about how Kim Porter's sister did the interview where she was like, Justin Bieber lost his virginity to Diddy, and allegedly, whatever. It was very strange. And everyone was like, what?
Because we didn't say that. Her sister
I didn't say it. I'm just repeating it.
Yeah.
And no one said anything, right? And then Justin Bieber, who never talks about Diddy, posted on Instagram. And I don't remember if he reposted something or he posted something about Diddy, but he was basically saying like, thank you, Diddy. Like, it's so crazy. I looked up for you for so long and you helped me with my career. And now you're asking me for a verse and I'm so grateful. And da-da-da-da. It was very fucking strange. And now I'm like, something is happening. And then Diddy just performed at the VMAs.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Something definitely about to come out. Something's definitely about to come out.
I can't wait because I think it's I knew this man was crazy.
Well, that's allegedly kind of the whole thing about like behind Kim Porter's death. Allegedly, they were saying that
I have never.
They were saying that she was about to put a tell-all book out.
Oh, I bet it would have been a great one.
Listen, she knew all. She knew all the secrets.
I think I like hope that the Trojan horse is Quincy. I hope that one day
his mama, Quincy's mama, is the Trojan horse.
You think?
Yeah. She been there before Kim. That's definitely the Trojan horse, I think. Because she's still around. She loyal. Her and Lorianne Gibson, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Boomcat herself.
There's just got to be, there's so much dirty shit that he's done. Those parties he used to throw.
Not used to. Well, okay, did you see the interview? And I hate to go back through all this stuff, but anyway, saw the interview with,
here we are,
with Young Miami, aka Carisha. Well,
she's love Carisha. Young Miami.
Well, because she's South Florida, so she just reminds me of people I went to school with because those are the same girls I went to school with. Anyway, but she was talking about, they were asking her about, I guess her, not necessarily her sex life with Diddy, but they were just talking about her relationship with him and blah blah blah. So she was just like, well, yeah, I thought I was gonna make him tap out, but he don't go to sleep. I'm like, ma'am, that's the drugs. If a man don't tap out sexually, he's on cocaine. He's coked out, allegedly.
Everyone, allegedly, these are the things that I've heard. Everyone talks about how fucking... Okay.
Get it out.
This is what I'll say. I've heard multiple stories about how people trying to make it in the music industry get invited to these parties at Diddy's house because like it's the who's who and the what's what, and that's where you need to be. And they are all not forced, but like Harry Weinstein style, like push into doing these.
You can't have your phone, all that kind of stuff.
You can't have your phone. You have to do. It's kind of like, you have to do these sexually explicit things with people like of your same gender, things you're not comfortable with, but everyone's like, oh, you're not going to do that? Oh, Diddy wants you to do that. Or Diddy saying like, oh, like basically I'm fucking Diddy. You do this and you can have whatever you want. You don't, you're a fucking loser. You're out of my party. And now I know you can tell people about me, so we're blacklisting you.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is insane.
This is why when you become famous, don't go to the parties. Just don't
go to the parties. Always keep your phone.
Do like Beyonce and stay your ass home.
The tell-all on this man will be insane.
It will.
I just need to hear about the times remember when Chris Brown and Rihanna, all that shit happened and they both ran to Diddy's house? And that's where they were hiding out? He has something on everyone. What does he have on everybody?
Maybe he's really in Scientology.
Maybe that's what it feels like. So I don't know.
It's monopolizing. You monopolizing. You get the dirt before they can put the dirt on you.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. He's just like fucked up. Allegedly, maybe, I don't know. Like fucked up in the head and wants to do all these things, but knows he needs something on everyone so they can all play along.
Would you ever go to a Diddy party?
Fuck yeah. Hell
God damn.
Yes.
Mental reminder, when this podcast blows up,
He can have my phone. I'll check my shit at the door. I need to know what the hell's going on.
This is why I don't tell your ass nothing. This is exactly why I don't tell Alyssa nothing.
I literally would go, I'd come home, I'd write it all down in a secret diary, and I'd just fucking put it away. I would, oh my God.
And then you forget where you put the diary. So it's not going to help us at all.
Probably. Yeah, 100%. No. But someone would find it. Speaking of the VMAs, I watched it this year.
We weren't talking about the VMAs, but okay.
I was talking about Diddy. Diddy was on the VMAs. It felt like a return to 2000s VMAs, which I loved. Because Shakira was there and Sync was there. We stan.
Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B.
Everyone is so skinny. And I hate to be the Ozempic police, but I'm calling Ozempic. Everyone is so skinny.
It's because we can't get any.
Yeah, it's because I'm pissed that I don't have it. But I'm just like, and there's all those TikToks and those celebrities that are like, stop witch hunting these people that are on Ozempic. Like, it's a medicine and it's a choice. Yeah, I fucking get it. But also, you've dropped 45 pounds in a month. Yeah. And I know it's Ozempic.
That or you're starving yourself.
Yeah.
Or it's cocaine.
Oh, either way.
Just saying.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, speaking of the man in Louisiana, piggybacking off Louisiana, did you hear about some kind of water contamination in Louisiana?
No.
So apparently there's this water I don't know all the details about it because, again, you don't come here for the details. Anyway, there's some...
Broad strokes.
Yeah, no. We're just here for entertainment purposes. Anyway, so apparently there's this water contamination in Louisiana that has caused an influx of salt water. And, of course, you cannot drink salt water. And so people are having to go and get, like... bottled water and all that kind of stuff, and it's really crazy right now. Like the shelves are like pretty much empty in certain parts of Louisiana, like big parts of Louisiana.
According to this Guardian article, it's because the Mississippi River is drying up, which means the Gulf of Mexico is creeping in. And also the water from the Gulf is disgusting.
Well, because it's all the oil spills.
But they drink water from the Mississippi River. I guess that makes sense. That's your water source.
Yeah, you're supposed to filter it, though. But the Mississippi is dirty, too.
Sludge. Yeah, because Mississippi mud pie. Ugh. You don't like mud pie?
Why it's only pie? What is a mud pie?
Why it's only... chocolate pie. Mississippi mud pie?
So you just put chocolate with pie crust. What the hell?
I don't know that... Hold on. I can do a quick little Mississippi
That's a white thing. It has to be.
Mississippi a silky chocolate filling topped with whipped cream and chocolate shavings.
That's definitely
on an Oreo crust.
That's oh.
She's like, wait a second. That's a Mississippi.
When you said the Oreo part,
that's it. It's got the Oreos on the bottom, the pie, and the whipped cream.
Okay, I can do without the whipped cream, but the rest of the.
Wait just a damn minute.
I sound like a real fat ass. Like, oh.
The kombucha girl.
She's like, definitely was me.
That's crazy. Does Flint, Michigan have water yet?
No, they still have lead in their water, allegedly. It's ridiculous.
What the heck is going on? The water wars. Everyone keeps talking about the water wars.
Well, they're saying that too, that's going to be the big thing, like that we're going to be fighting over is fresh water. Because even a lot of like dystopian universe type of apocalyptic shows and movies, that's literally what ends up happening. Like nobody has water, or water is like the hot commodity where money doesn't even matter.
It's just water.
But you have to do certain favors and whatever for water.
Sexual favors?
Possibly, yes.
That's like, what is the movie with?
The Book of Eli.
Dr. Seuss.
Oh. Okay.
The Lorax. Oh, but that's air. They bottle air. Have you seen the Lorax or read the Lorax? Mm-mm. It's like that where fresh air is the commodity, so they're like bottling fresh air, and like there's no trees and shit.
Sorry, where are they getting the air from?
There's like a tree farm.
A tree farm that just produces fresh air.
Yeah.
Why can't everybody just live in the farm?
Because they cut all the trees and they made them fake trees in the cities, and then there's you have to go to this factory or farm or whatever and get the fresh air.
Art depicts life. I need to watch that.
Amen, sister.
I need to watch
But yeah, that's crazy. Remember in Austin, I guess, was it here in Austin that I had to boil my water?
Well, I'm used to boiling water to a degree in South Florida because
hurricanes. You're from Florida.
But I'm just saying. But that's why I was trying to figure out with the salt water. See, for us, for Florida, when hurricanes hit, it's not because of the salt water content. It's just because literally the bacteria, the dirty water. But for them, like, can they just boil the salt water and filter it out like that, or can they just not drink it at all?
I think they have to do bottled water.
So they can't even try to filter that salt water.
Shit, because, okay, your water's just not filtered, right?
Right.
But I
after
think
hurricanes.
The water from the Gulf is literal shit water. Because remember, there's like, they did that study and there's like this amount of water from the Gulf of Mexico has fecal matter in it.
Well, I mean, everything has fecal matter. You got fish and sharks and everything. Where the hell do you think their poop goes?
Oh, that's kind of gross.
Maybe it's kind of like the water in like India.
Well, it says the high concentrations of salt may cause people to develop increased blood pressure and corrode the drinking water infrastructure.
Well, yeah, because you're not supposed to have salt water. Like, that's just like even if you drink salt water, if you're stranded on a little buoy or whatever. Like, if you drink too much salt water, it's going to affect your brain too. Yeah. Just anything. But can you just boil it and boil the water?
Does that boil the salt out of it?
I don't know.
I don't think it boils the salt out of it.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't.
You're still drinking concentrated salt water.
Yeah, true. Interesting. Well, prayers up for Louisiana. I pray they get that fixed immediately.
Y'all just can't catch a fucking break.
I think they're doing it on purpose, you know.
Trying to wipe it off the map.
Too many chemtrails. I'll tell you what else is... speaking of chemtrails.
Speaking of Kim, remind me on what we're watching.
Okay.
I gotta talk about Kim Kardashian.
Okay. Oh, Lord. Jeez. I'm definitely not gonna remind you.
Who they say is hanging out with Odell Beckham Jr.
Anyway, so yeah, speaking of chemtrails and lightning and tasers and all that kind of stuff. So in Alabama, there was a specific high school.
Wow.
Who actually got, there was a specific high school in Alabama. They had a football game on a Saturday night, right? As everybody does. And this high school band director was actually tased toward the end of the game or after the game.
I'm not getting tased at work. You're gonna be fucked up.
True. Well, here's the deal. So the video shows that the band director was directing the band and the kids were playing. The police officers were like, hey, bitch, shut this shit up. We're closing down. Everybody's supposed to be getting off the field, but the cheerleaders were still kind of doing their thing because, again, the band is playing. And so it escalated to the point where the band director just kept ignoring the police officers and they tased his ass in front of the kids.
Here's my thing. In this political climate, do I think with a group of a bunch of teenagers, I would keep saying no to security and or officers? I don't know if my job's worth it.
I just don't think tasing was the answer to the question.
No, I don't either. But I'm like, what was the point of it? Like, I don't understand. Him just not stopping. Yeah.
Well, okay, so as y'all know, I was in the band in high school, right?
You're a resident band expert.
Exactly. So going back from my days back in the early 2000s, I remember, like, okay, there's only a certain amount of times that the band can play, right? So you go through halftime. You and the other band have to share the halftime time, whatever. If you mess with the time and you go beyond the time, your school can get fined. You can get in trouble, blah blah blah, whatever, right? So at the very end of the game, usually what happens is the players, they all like take a knee. The coaches, they kind of have like a little rally thing or whatever, and then you can play like your school alma mater. Once you play that, or play your ending song, then you're done. Everybody breaks down everything and you take your ass to the bus and you get ready to go home.
Well, and he told the band to play 3 more songs because they won.
Right. And so I'm just like, well, sir, was that a great example for your students then to disobey authority when you probably teach that as a discipline in your band? So number one, you're wrong for continuing to play, even though the police officers are like, hey, this is not your stadium. This is not your school stadium. We are trying to close shit down because, again, these are high school students. They got curfews, whatever the case may be. And so, to me, I just feel like it was wrong on both sides. But he
also, motherfucker, I got a curfew. This is just my day job.
Exactly. Like, bitch, I'm trying to go home. Shut this band down. And people were in the comments were just like, well, the band sounded good. He just hating on the band. No, it's time to go.
Do you think race played anything in this becoming a story as big as it is?
It's the state of Alabama.
That's true.
So
I agree.
I mean, you can't help but, I mean, it was white police officers and a black band director. So
isn't that just, it's just one of those things now?
It didn't require an escalation to being tased.
Oh, I don't think he needed to be tased.
Like, that's stupid. That's beyond stupid. And why would you inflict that type of trauma and, aggression when you have kids, literal high school kids that are watching you tase their band director? Like, what was that going to teach them?
Yeah, I don't know. Also, that was the thing you did, like, tase him. You couldn't have just, like, handcuffed him or escorted him out or just been like, you guys got to, I don't know.
I would prefer you to kick him down the bleachers versus tasing him. Like, God,
tasing seems so dramatic. The other day, the security guards were getting trained in our office, or like our office building.
Taser.
They were doing taser training in the building, and I was like, y'all are wild.
Yeah, in a hospital. You should not be, well I won't say that.
You never know. I'd rather you tase someone than let them run free. But I don't know. I don't know.
Because people can get really dangerous in a hospital.
Yeah.
Because the security is very low.
One of our units is locked down right now, and the nurses on that unit and one of the nursing managers was being extremely rude to me.
Locked down for what? Can you tell?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay. This is all alleged.
Alleged. I don't know. I saw it on TV. In my dream, I walked into the unit. It was locked down, and my badge didn't work for the other doors because it tells you like staff use this door, visitors, whatever. Yeah. So I finally get in. I go out through the other door, and I called because they wouldn't let me in, right? Mm-hmm. And the nurse was, or one of the assistants was like, "You're gonna have to get your badge fixed." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, bitch. Like, I didn't know. I'm never down here. I don't give a shit. I don't want to be in this unit. I'm just down here because I have a patient here." And she's like, "Well, this isn't gonna change, so you need to get your badge fixed." And I was like, "Everyone down here is fucking testy. All right, whatever." Had to go down there again, probably like a week or two later. There's 2 sets of doors. One it says for staff to enter, and one it says for family to enter. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that meant exit too. Sorry. So I entered through the staff door, but my patient was on the other side. So I just it's been like this for years. It has I've used the same doors. I exited through what is now the family side, got yelled at for exiting through that door.
What unit is this? Whisper it. I mean, just never mind. No.
I'll cut it. And I was like, y'all have got to chill the fuck out. Like, this unit is not...
It's not that serious.
It's not that... It's literally not that serious. Until I found out. That unit had a patient who was underage, well, not underage, but a young patient who died. I don't know what happened. And the family freaked the fuck out and threatened to kill everybody in the unit.
Oh, so it was a security issue.
It was a security reach, which could have been explained to me, and I would have been like, okay.
Which should have been explained to the staff, so you know not to go down.
Because I was like, everyone down here is just being real fucking crazy.
Well, see, we have units that they're not locked down, but like the little wavy thing is cut off because they have we have this thing called wandering patients and they'll put them in like, well, I won't say that because it'll give away where I work. Anyway, there's certain patients that are on the floor who will try to, what do they call it? They will try to elope off the unit.
Elope, that's a good one.
Right. And so because you don't want to call it an elopement call, then they have to take off the little thing. So if they get close to the door, the little siren goes off. Oh. But it's not a psych ward. It's not a psych unit or anything.
It's just a wandering unit.
Exactly. And they'll put that on there. It says, wandering patient on this floor. Blah, blah, blah.
But all that to say, yeah, I'd rather you tase someone than shoot them.
Right.
But I feel like he could have been escorted maybe.
Right. You could have easily just told the kids, all right, like, or...
Stop playing.
Right. Start grabbing trumpets. I mean, start grabbing trombones out of their hands.
Start slapping people's hands off the instruments.
Give me this mouthpiece. I mean, but to tase a band director, but also too, again, the band director, you are not teaching your high school band students how to respect authority. That these police officers are telling you to stop.
3 songs at the end of that's a lot.
He was very calm. He was just like, fuck these people. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, damn, okay. Interesting.
Maybe he picked the wrong one on the wrong
really
night.
did.
They're like, you know what?
That police officer was like, sir, I gotta go home and boo-boo. I need y'all to get off this damn thing right now.
He's like, my wife told me if I come home late one more time,
it's gonna be over for me. So speaking of humans and humanitarian efforts, Lizzo actually got awarded the Quincy Jones Humanitarian Award.
Quincy.
For her humanitarian acts. And I love that for her because we are, as you know, a Lizzo Stan podcast.
Thank you.
And I'm just so happy that she seems to be back to her usual like social media self.
Girl couldn't catch a break for a second.
She kind of disappeared, and I was like,
she should.
She should have disappeared. She just should have been quiet, and that's it. But now she's coming back, and I love the fact that her dancers who were on tour with her, the ones that are not suing her, were actually they were the ones who presented her with the award, and they were just like, we are so appreciative of you like giving us an opportunity where nobody else would have given us an opportunity, and you opened up so many doors for us to be able to do so many different things, and so they gave her this award. I just think it's amazing.
With any employer, I feel like if you feel like you've been wronged with this kind of thing where it's a little gray, like obviously if your employer does something fucking crazy, it's black and white, but with this, it's very easy for you to be like, nope, I was wronged, and here's like to just run with it, and for half of the other people to be like, no, that's not crazy, this is actually what happened. So it's just one of those
because I think too the problem is in the entertainment industry there is no real HR. No. Like you are individually contracted. And so
that's
unless you work for SAG-AFTRA,
the way it is. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think when you're privately contracted as a dancer and you can get moved and, here today, gone tomorrow, so to speak, it's very difficult to have this level of quote unquote professionalism because you're working for a particular brand and we get to deem what's professional. It's not we have to make sure you wear your tights this way and whatever, it's literally, if you are gaining weight and you can't fit the uniform, we're going to have to move you. If you are, looking a certain way or whatever, if your energy is off, we can fire you for anything. And that's not technically discrimination.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to then say all of this stuff. Cause even now there's another dancer that's coming out and then there's another agency or whatever that worked with her that's now saying that, we're suing her for this. And I'm just like, okay, wrap this shit up. And then two, the problem is that all of these are allegations, right?
True.
And in the entertainment industry, obviously it would be stupid to drop your facts today as opposed to letting a court of law handle it. But at the same time, this is why you shut the fuck up and let the court proceedings pay.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's not like the fucking regular 9-to-5 job where they're like, no matter who you are, what you look like, what you smell like, I just need you to log the fuck on and do this job. Exactly. You are selling essentially sex. Like for a lot of these jobs, things need to be sexy and hot. And those are all parts of your body, your personality, your look, which in a corporate situation you can't judge me on because that's illegal,
right?
But that is the entire entertainment industry.
Well, and the thing is, they were saying that she put them in a hostile work environment. Well, here's the thing: the entertainment industry is a hostile
work environment.
It's just everything about it is hostile.
You either have a look or you don't. You move that way or you don't. You're that weight or you don't. You know what I mean?
Nobody says anything. I mean, the NFL obviously has a real HR, but even when it comes to like their cheerleaders and their dancers, they have actual rules. They will come up there with the calipers and like, you need to look a certain way, and that's not discrimination because that's their brand. And if you don't perform in that manner, because again, this is a brand, they're known for this thing, then you can't be a part of it. Doesn't mean that we don't like you, doesn't mean that we don't wish you well, but you are just not for us right now. We're going in a different direction.
You're being let go.
Exactly. Because you're independently contracted. I think that's the biggest difference. This is the entertainment industry, for the most part, is not corporate America.
No.
And they're not bound to the same legalities that these big corporations are.
Yeah.
So that's the difficult part.
Body, your personality, you are your own brand, but you're representative of this bigger brand.
Exactly.
It's not just,
you as an entity. Because if you mess up or if you look off, nobody's going to know your name. They're going to say, well, Lizzo's dancer, Beyonce's dancer, this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll eventually learn your name.
And if we don't like the way you fit into this puzzle, then we can fucking get rid of you.
Exactly. Because the minute you commit a crime, Beyonce's background dancer did X, Y, and Z. And now you're bringing negative publicity to this big entity.
Like the Power Rangers murderer.
What?
The guy who was on Power Rangers and he murdered someone, and now he's always the guy who was on Power Rangers who murdered someone. Right. He was just like a stand-in.
Exactly. But he committed a crime.
And he was on Power Rangers.
Well, speaking of Beyonce, because she didn't kill nobody and she's not a Power She's sort of a Power Ranger. Her Renaissance tour, of course, is continuing, and she actually just made a stop in Houston, which is her hometown.
I cannot imagine having been present for that concert. Also, I heard this story at work today where someone we know was planning to go with her friend to the Beyonce concert, and then it fell through. They didn't end up getting the ticket. You know how hard it was to get tickets, right? And you had to either get in or you didn't. She knew someone who got in. They were trying to make plans, and it didn't work out. And then that person went to the concert with someone else. I would have spiraled. If you're listening to this, I would have spiraled.
That's crazy. Well, back to what I was going to say.
Sorry.
And she'll blame me. Oh, it's my ADHD.
Because I can't believe we didn't go to that concert. And it must have been so cool in Houston. Us together.
I wouldn't want to go.
I know. You're alone.
Let me tell you something. Right. The minute somebody, on the mute challenge, the minute you would have been shut the fuck up,
also,
bitch.
Dallas, y'all
I would have knocked you in your mouth.
Here's my thing.
But I wouldn't have messed it up intentionally, though. I wouldn't have done that. And
this concert wasn't to go listen to the music. It was to be a part of the Beyonce Renaissance experience.
Yeah, and see, I don't like people like that. Yeah, that's true. I don't want to go.
Okay, well, I meant to say, I can't believe I was not at a Beyonce concert.
Right. Well, what ended up happening was amazing, and I hope that this is like a precursor to something actually happening. So all 5 members of Destiny's Child was actually present there.
I love that she
Kelly Rowland was there.
The
Michelle Williams, Latoya, and Latavia Roberson, and LaToya Luckett were all there as well.
LaToya Luckett.
So I hope that kind of means that maybe they might just do like a reunion song, an
Is
album
the Proud
or something.
Family song with the original members?
No, it's Solange. That's Solange who sings
That's
that.
Solange.
But they background sing. But it's just it's Kelly, Beyonce, and Solange. I don't think Michelle sings on that.
It was like when they were
Kelly
still looking for people between when LaToya and okay.
Yeah, but they were childhood friends. So I love that. And they've all rekindled. Like I remember LaToya Luckett doing an interview, and she was talking about how, you know, for years, I think she was not necessarily upset with Michelle Williams, but she realized, like, you're not the issue. Like, you were just the one that they put in to replace us.
I'm sure she felt some type of way. I would feel some type of way.
But she didn't hold, like, a grudge to her. She was like, her and I, we get along perfectly fine. Like, I don't hold a grudge against her because she was just doing a job, and that was an amazing opportunity. Yeah. And any one of us, if we weren't original members and had the opportunity to be a part of this, you know, amazing selling girl group, we would have definitely,
How is Michelle?
Michelle was doing amazing. You know, she still does gospel records. She does gospel as far as her solo career.
Didn't she go to rehab or something?
I think she went to rehab for like depression.
Like depression rehab?
Yeah.
I think that everyone for like a week out of the year should go to rehab. Like we should
I think it should be
destigmatize rehab.
Week. Yeah.
Like a couple weeks a year, you just check out from your life. You go somewhere. Your life is put on hold. You just like.
I think we have less crime, honestly.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And I think it takes a lot within you to admit that something is wrong and that you actually need to go somewhere.
Everyone just needs a little rehab reset.
Well, you know, and then people look at her like, well, what do you have to be depressed about? Like, you're a millionaire. You don't know what this lady deals with. What the hell? People think because people got money or because people have fame and notoriety that means that all their problems escape. No, it just exacerbates and it magnifies who you already were.
Can you imagine having all, like, not that this was her situation.
Right.
I'm just saying, can you imagine having like depression, anxiety, and a lot of it being tied to, like, let's say it's tied to not having money or to wanting this goal and chasing it. You finally reach it. Guess what? It's a chemical imbalance. You're still depressed and anxious. And now you're more depressed and anxious because you're like, I've done all these things. I should feel better. I still feel like shit. That would make me crazy.
And now you feel like shit in front of the entire world.
Right.
And you're expected to be on. And
all these other people depend on you, and you have to keep working to keep this lifestyle, and it's just, oh God, I couldn't
along with the fame and notoriety,
and
then people, every little thing you do, when she fell on 106 in Park and people pick it, you know, all that kind of stuff, that adds and chips away at who you are as a person. That's why I say I don't want fame. Give me the money.
So everyone needs a little rehab restart every year.
Agree. I absolutely agree. Well, you know who else needs to restart? Banned books. Okay. They're trying to restart these kids' education.
Freaking, you know who we need to get? LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton. Where are you, brother? But yeah.
Insane.
So yeah,
I love LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton, we need you back, buddy, because these people, I don't think they got the memo about the reading rainbow because they're trying to pull rainbows out of the books.
In the first 8 months of the year, 700 books have been attempted to be banned.
Well, even these 2 little girls, three little girls, they I think they were like middle school age. They were talking about.
They are just also giving like my 5th grade, 6th grade self.
Yeah, I want y'all.
These girls.
I want y'all to hear this. Hold on one second. Let me play this.
The attitude, I love it.
Okay.
I think I'm older than I am.
Hold on.
I noticed that a lot of the Black History books are being pulled.
These are all white girls.
They've pulled like all the like award-winning books. Yeah. And you can look at a shelf and they've left us with Junie B. Jones, which personally...
Hold on.
Junie B. Jones is an icon.
Was the shit. Okay, little girls.
I don't think we need to be coming for Junie B.
No, because Junie B. was my childhood along with Babysitter's Club and Goosebumps.
Thank you.
So don't
You're making some good points, but we need to leave Junie out of it.
Exactly. Junie B. Jones, amazing.
Continue.
Back to what they were saying.
Okay.
It's a 2nd grade level book for me. I don't know if we have any LGBTQ books in our thing, but if we did, they would be taking them away. We really can't find one that we like because either we've read it a million times or it's just too easy for us. They're having the family volunteers come and like take out so that they can review the books. I had to help take away a lot of the book. Why take away all these excellent books? It's like you're trying to slow down children's reading. Why do that?
So yeah, out of the mouth of babes.
This also is just like so me as a fucking child.
That's definitely you and Audrey together.
Yeah, like
on a crusade.
Reads a bunch of books, thinks I know shit about anything, and I'm just like, why would anyone want to take a book away from me?
Yeah, I just remember when I was in school, I think we had to read. I remember in my senior year, we had to read Of Mice and Men. Shouts out to Miss Salter. I hated that fucking book. Anyway, it was stupid. It wasn't stupid. It was just, no, I didn't like to read like that. Anyway, and then I read The Coldest Winter Ever. That was like a popular book when I was around. And then once The Coldest Winter Ever was kind of done, of course, Goosebumps was still around, but not really. People weren't really reading Goosebumps. That was in middle school. But anyway.
Was Goosebumps Choose Your Own Adventure?
No.
Okay.
That was advanced.
Okay.
No, they had the whole thing for you. But then I remember I started reading like Elin Harris books, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is all porn, gay porn. This is ridiculous.
Great, we love a smut.
Exactly. So it was those were great books, but I don't think my mom knew what was going on, and I didn't even know. I was just like, okay.
That's the fun part. You're reading about sex and no one knows.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't like it was sitting there making me horny, like, oh, I got to keep reading these. But it was just like, it was a great story, and I think it was character development, and you were able to use your imagination, because as kids, that's all you have.
Sneak sex into the book so the kids will read it.
Okay, that's Fowler saying that is not Fleming.
Come on.
See, you are aiding and abetting in the agenda of over sexualizing these kids. But yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy that they're banning a lot of these books.
I just banned books to me was always like, oh, like in the 70s they tried to ban all these books. I didn't realize that we were actively banning books.
Oh yeah, they're literally pulling them out. There were some people that were actually trying to burn some of the books. But you know what's even crazier?
What is this, fucking World War II? Why are we burning books?
It's like World War Z, where you need to get, warmth and whatnot.
Truly.
What's crazy is that even too, I don't know if you've been on Teacher TikTok, but on Teacher TikTok lately, a lot of these teachers on there have been coming out talking about how their students, their reading levels are piss poor.
Oh, girl, you don't even need to ban the books, because what I'm hearing is the kids can't read it
They can't read it anyway. These 7th graders are reading on a 4th grade level.
Yeah.
9th graders are reading on a 3rd grade level. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
COVID was not a good time for a lot of kids.
But I don't even think it had anything to do with COVID, though. I just think genuinely kids don't know how to read anymore.
Well, I'm on the teacher side of TikTok, whatever's getting put on my For You page, where these teachers are like, it's not even just reading. These kids just don't fucking get shit.
They don't comprehend.
That they should. Like, it is, there's people, these teachers are saying, like, this is the hardest group of kids they've ever had to teach. Not behavior wise necessarily. I think there's a lot of behavior issues, but they're just like, I've never had to break down these concepts in a way that I'm having to break them down now, because they just don't have the building blocks. But I'm like, for 2.5 years they weren't in school.
But I don't even think it's that. I think it's the fact that, again, these children are brought up on social media. They sit with iPads in front of their faces and cell phones in front of their faces all day. Their attention span is this long already. Then you put an idiot box in front of them. Then that shortens even more. And it's just like, when you're just flipping through videos all day, you have no real concept.
Yeah, well,
and so it's comprehension that's the problem. Because I remember even when we were taking like standardized tests in school, you would have to read a whole paragraph or a whole story. Then they would ask you questions about the story, and then you would have to make, they wanted to know more so that we comprehended what we were reading versus just knowing how to read.
But now guess what I do? I read something. As soon as I get stopped, I'm opening up another tab to Google that. And I read, and as soon as I get stopped, I'm opening up another tab to Google that. I don't have to do any critical thinking. I don't have to do anything beyond. My thinking is, oh, I don't understand this. Let me plug it into Google. It's going to tell me exactly what that is. I'm going to read, oh, I don't understand that. But I don't even know if people do that much.
No, they don't. They'll just read a word and just keep, repeating the word.
It's got to be true. This is what came up.
Exactly. And then too, again, you went from 6-second videos to now people are extending it to 10 seconds. How much crap can you cram into a 30-second reel?
Did you see TikTok's doing 10-minute videos now?
Go to YouTube with that shit.
I don't need a fucking 10-minute TikTok.
Go to YouTube.
This was not Martin's
I'm going to tell you what my new thing is now with TikTok, now that I've discovered that you can do this. I legit hold the right side of my screen and I fast forward so I can hear it at 2 times speed.
And now here you are.
But I'm also an adult who has 4 degrees and I comprehend.
That's true.
Because the thing is with me, I've always had higher reading scores and I've had math scores because I'm an avid reader and I comprehend very well. And I'm a great orator and a great writer. I've always been like that. And I've always scored very high on a lot of my tests. But my mother is a huge reader. Like my mother, her Kindle is probably full. It's ridiculous. Like she always buys a book. She's always sitting and reading. My dad was a math genius, but he just did my homework for me. So I didn't benefit from that. But my mom is a great reader. And so she comprehends a lot of stuff, but also too, I have a lot of teachers in my family. So my aunt Pat, shouts out to her. She was in the public school system for 33 years teaching high school. And she ensured and made sure that we were able to advance where we needed to advance. Even with her daughter during the summertime, she didn't just sit and chill all day. She had book reports. And I remember we used to laugh at my cousin like, haha, you got a book report, bitch, in the summer. But it helped.
Oh, if when I have children, the currency in my house will be book reports.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You want to go do something? You got to read. You got to read this book. You got to tell me what's up. Oh, you have a question about that character? Write a fucking 200-word summary on it. I want to hear what you have to say.
Exactly. Well, then too, we were talking about the reason why these kids can't read is I saw this one person on TikTok was talking about the whole No Child Left Behind from the Bush era.
Oof.
And
George, my guy George.
Yes, he started telling all these teachers, well, pass these students because no child left behind. No, some kids need to be left the hell
behind. Here's the thing. The idea was we were losing to all these other countries, mainly China. They were getting so far ahead. All these kids, no one can be left behind. Well, sir, when my paycheck's on the line, because that's what was happening, this child ain't gonna get left behind because I gotta get paid. So we're gonna pass them all.
But also, you can't compare yourself to other countries because China is not forcing their kids to watch YouTube and watch all this TV and whatnot. These kids are actually outside getting vitamin D. Half their kids don't even use calculators.
In China, all they can do, all they're allowed to do is this schoolwork.
It's a communist country.
Their whole value is placed on whether or not they can fucking do this work.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's a little different.
And this is why stereotypically Asians are better at math. It just is.
But also in China, it's a collectivist communist society.
It is.
This group is only as smart as the stupidest motherfucker over there.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to be the stupid one.
Exactly.
So you're busting your ass to be as smart as everyone else.
The problem is most of these people who are in leadership positions and in Congress
dummies
were the people who should have been left behind, but they teachers felt sorry for them and passed them. This is why you got Congress women who are sitting in Congress with goddamn bachelor's degrees in fucking home economics trying to tell you what to do about your damn city.
Underwater basket.
It's ridiculous. Seriously, you got a degree in underwater basket. Whew. Lord Jesus. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad.
Remember when I said this was going to be a short and sweet episode?
Of course, never. It's never that way.
Never does.
Did we want to talk about what you call getting divorced or no?
Who?
No, we'll talk about. Well, speaking of,
everyone's getting divorced.
It's horrible.
It's a season of divorce. I really do hate it. Someone made a good point. This guy on TikTok, he's a divorce lawyer, and he was saying marriage as a concept, as a practice, was, popularized and put into place when people were A, dying in childbirth, but B, only living to like 50 years old.
True.
Not saying that marriage is bad, but just like we still use that standard, that ideal of marriage, and how just like outdated it is. Not that no one should be married or like monogamy is fucked, but I'm just like, that is accurate, I would say. I just hate that in this society, especially with social media, people are so quick to just say, like with this whole like Remy Ma and Papoose situation, and then Tiana Taylor and Iman and Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. People are just so quick to be, we knew that wasn't gonna last. Well, wait a minute. Stop preying on people's downfall.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, I don't understand why we as a society are so happy when people are failing, especially people who have never done anything to us. You see one headline and you go with it, and just like, Remy Ma cheated on Papoose. Oh my God. He held her down for 6 years in prison. How dare she do that? And they over here posting pictures of each other, probably laughing at y'all looking crazy. And because y'all like, oh, I could put 2 and 2 together. Ain't no 2 and 2 to put.
I will say, okay, so there's been a lot of divorces right now. Hugh Jackman and his wife, who was a lot older than him, and I didn't realize. Remy Ma and Papoose.
They're not divorcing. No, they haven't come out and said anything.
Okay, I'm sorry.
People are speculating.
Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. Okay, but Bijou Phillips and Danny Masterson. She just filed for divorce from Danny Masterson. And everyone's like, oh, wow, didn't think that was going to happen. I just think if your partner is
5, 6, 7, 8
convicted of a crime like he was, rape, I think you're allowed to divorce your fucking partner.
Oh, absolutely.
I also don't think she had a choice. Like, it looks so bad because if you stay with him, you don't divorce him.
If you stay with him, you cannot expect anybody to support you in that.
No.
Because even if you don't think that it happened, or even if it didn't happen when you all were together, you cannot negate that there was clearly some type of evidence that convicted this man for him to be charged for 30 years.
That behavior.
Exactly. And this man got sentenced to 30 years. So there's no way you can sit here and say, I stand with my husband. Girl, you better jump off that fucking ship.
Don't stand with him.
That don't mean that you can't go and still visit him and put money on his books or whatever. But
you don't need to be tied together legally anymore.
You don't.
No.
Because it's gonna drain your bank account. Don't do it. That's all I'm saying. I just think we need to stop preying on people's downfalls, though.
I do agree.
Especially with marriage.
People don't get married. You shouldn't get married with the intention of getting divorced. I don't think.
No, but I think you need to realize that that's a real thing. Oh, yeah. And I think
56% of marriages.
Some religions too kind of say, well, just pray about it and stick together. No.
That's not.
My happiness is more important than this piece of paper at this point.
Let's front load the work.
Yeah.
Make sure we're both just like stable, emotional, self-aware individuals. And we'll work it out.
You know what's crazy? I was having this conversation before. I didn't mean to go on a tangent. Anyway, I was having this conversation with a person in my life, and we were talking about marriage, and we were talking about just some of the things that you don't discover about yourself until you get married, and that in marriage, like this idea about before you get married, you need to be completely healed. Like, there's no such thing as complete healed, because if you are, that means you're a perfect person, which means that you don't exist.
How do you know the things that need healing if you're?
Because only certain things are going to make certain things come up to you
in a relationship.
Exactly, come up for you. And so I think even with marriage, like this idea that, oh, I know my husband, I know my wife, they would never do this. No, they don't even know themselves completely. I know who I am as a 30-something-year-old. You know who you are as a 40-something-year-old. Now, next year, I'm going to unlock something else about myself that I didn't know existed. And you should be doing the same thing. The problem becomes when you are unlocking more than me and I'm still stuck here and you've already moved here. But also, too, what happens during that waiting process for me to start discovering who I am to then meet you where you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difficult thing that people, sometimes have an issue navigating. But also, too, it's very difficult to navigate that part of your life on a national scale.
I have a lot of 8th house planets, shadow work planets. So like transformation in my life happens through death. So I always think about death, and I'm just like, for me, big changes in personality or in ideals and mindsets and shit happen around death a lot of the time, or birth.
Yeah, true.
And you just don't know how you or your partner responds to those things, like death of a parent, death of a child, death of a close friend or a sibling. And I think that's the big shit that you don't fucking know, and you can always say, oh, I think no one knows how they're going to respond, or how it's going to change you as a person, or how it's going to like dismantle your life or make you grow or do all of these things. And a lot of people don't experience that until they're a little older, until they have these relationships. I'm just like, you don't know anything about anyone until they go through these horrible fucking situations.
Because you're still learning yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, you just don't know. Everyone just got to have grace with each other and grow and learn. You just have to be open to the fact. That's why I'm like, when you marry someone, you just have to marry someone that you're like, listen, I'm going to go through shit and you're going to go through shit, but I like you enough to go through the shit with you.
Exactly.
And fucking figure it out.
Because even too, you have these couples who have been married for 50 years and you're just like, oh my God, people don't stay married anymore. Well, they don't know how to stay together. No, bitch, you've been miserable for 49 of them years. Yeah. So don't come telling me, like, this idea that the amount of years that you've been married equals a successful marriage. It doesn't, because you were miserable the entire fucking time.
Also, marriage now is not marriage 20 years ago.
No.
We've got social media and people have different lives. Men and women are both going to work and there's all these weird dynamics. It's just not the same.
It's not. But I think too, when you start talking about marriage with your significant other, your definitions of marriage need to align. And your expectations of what your marriage is supposed to be needs to align. This idea of, oh, Beyonce and Jay-Z are marriage goals. Bitch, please.
You don't even know their marriage.
You don't know their marriage. You don't know oh my God.
They could be doing crazy shit without each other all the time on the side, and it keeps them happy, and that's their marriage.
Everybody back in the day wanted an Ike Turner until they saw how he beat the shit out of Tina.
Amen.
Ain't nobody should be relationship goal. You and your spouse should be sitting down together and making goals for your relationship. First of all, that's a red flag. Anytime a man tells me, oh my God, we could be like Beyonce and Jay-Z, red flag, bitch, get the fuck away from me.
No.
You don't know.
Because you know what Beyonce does? Work really fucking hard.
But not only that, allegedly we don't know the ins and outs of these people's marriage. She could be lonely as hell and be like, you know what? I can't stay in this house no more with him. I'm going on tour.
He also allegedly cheated on her, and she dragged his ass on a world tour where she sang songs every single night about how he cheated. Do you want that to be your... Like, I don't know if I'm strong enough to deal with that shit.
Like, nobody out here, I don't care what people show you on social media. I don't look at anybody's relationship as goals for my life.
Yeah.
me and my husband need to set our goals together to see what we are willing to accept, what we're not willing to accept in every area, financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Like, communicate, people, and comprehend. Anyway, last thing before we go into what we're watching, there was the first successful heart transplant of a 58-year-old man in Maryland. Maryland surgeons actually successfully transplanted a pig heart into a 58-year-old man. Which, by the way, people are like, oh my God, this is horrible. I want y'all to know, for not heart transplants, but some heart procedures, cow and pig arteries and valves are actually used to repair certain parts of the heart.
I'm wondering what the longevity on that heart's going to be.
I guess we'll find out.
I know. I guess we'll find out. You know what's so weird is, you know how we always talk about with heart transplants how their personality changes right after they get a transplant. Which it's a huge surgery and it's a huge kind of mind fuck to think like this organ you've had your entire life that is like colloquially the beating center of you, your heart, all of these things has now been taken out of your body. It's been replaced with another organ that belonged to a person for a long time. Sometimes you'll see these personality changes, like these people who were very sweet and even keeled kind of get like aggressive or just weird. And you're always like, ooh, I wonder who the heart belonged to. Like, I think those things carry energy. That's also just me being woo-woo.
I wonder psychologically if people will be better because they know it was a pig and they're like, huh,
that's what I'm wondering. Or if it's going to be weird because I don't know.
You think they'll be one to eat slop?
You think they're oinking around?
No.
They're like rolling on the ground?
I definitely think they won't look at it as, if it becomes the normal or a standard or an option, a viable option for multiple people, I don't think that the survivor's remorse will be there because it's a pig.
That's a big thing too.
Yeah. Because some of these patients are like,
someone had to die for you to live. Yeah.
Right. And they're like, I don't deserve this. You just go ahead and cut it out. Well, bitch, you already got it. You better get your ass up. It is
so emotionally draining.
It is.
To go through a heart transplant like that.
It's emotionally draining for healthcare clinicians to work with them. So I can only imagine the internal turmoil that they're going through.
Also, this is my pet peeve, and it's just a personal pet peeve because I know a lot of the times we worked in a hospital where people come to wait for their heart transplant. Like, your heart's fucked, you have to stay in the hospital. You're waiting you're essentially waiting for someone to die so that you can live. And so you're waiting, but on your end, everyone in the hospital is kind of just like, you're just waiting for this heart. You're waiting to get strong. We're going to get you stronger, and we're doing all these things, and we just have to wait for a heart. And then the time comes, and someone is dying or died for you to get this organ. Also, you may go to sleep on this table and just never fucking wake up.
True.
But everyone is always like, everyone's excited for you and has these high spirits, and it's just kind of like, oh, your heart. And I fucking hate it because I feel like the person is always just very like anxious about it.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to all pass it off and be excited because, you know, we've been waiting for it and we've been trying to help you get to this point and you're here.
Yeah. But I think you have to do that though. They try to make light of it to a degree so that they won't freak out with all of that information, you know? So
it's just a weird thing to have to, you know.
It is. It really is.
But that's cool.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued to see how long this man stays alive and the viability of this heart.
Yeah.
And I want to know also too what the testing process was and how long this patient was waiting on a heart and how the criteria.
They have to be big enough. They have to be
big enough. But and he's a 58-year-old man too. So I wonder what the criteria was for the pig. Like, you're gonna have to find the most pristine pig in order to do this.
And like, was it successful? Like, they got him off bypass, or successful? Like, he's up and walking around.
That's true. The viability.
Yeah.
You need to know what this means.
I need to know what's going on with that.
Yeah. Well, I guess we got to find somebody in Maryland. Anyway, anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
No.
You want to talk about? You saying something to remind you about a movie?
Okay, really quick. American Horror Story, the new season. Are you an American Horror Story girl?
No, I tried to watch the first episode and I was like,
Okay, so I watched the first couple seasons. I stopped after Kevin because Kevin was everything to me. Witches, we love a witch.
Okay.
And Gabby Siebo's in it. Ooh, is Angela Bassett in it?
Yeah, she's in American Horror Story.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of it.
She's maybe in that for sure. Yes.
Clearly, you're not a faithful watcher.
I'm not, because it creeps. I live alone and it creeps me.
Exactly.
But the new season, of course, has Kim Kardashian. I had to watch it just to see how she was, because I would have never pinned Kim as an actress. She's not giving.
She was in a Tyler Perry movie.
What Tyler Perry movie?
She was in what's it called? Temptation with Journey Smollett and
one where she
Lance
dates?
Gross. Yeah, but she played Vanessa Williams's assistant.
I do remember that. Okay, so she's better than that.
Okay.
I do remember that. She like has an actual. She went to an acting class. She did a lot better than I thought she was gonna do.
Oh,
she is playing essentially a version of herself. She is playing like PR Kim and is kind of like not whoring Emma Roberts out, but like basically telling her how she essentially like sells her soul to be famous again or like to increase her fame.
Way.
Yeah, truly. And it's weird. It's kind of like a Rosemary's Baby fertility situation, which is weird in this day and age because fertility is such a big thing.
It's taboo.
I feel like everyone right now is either actively trying not to get pregnant or to get pregnant.
Yeah.
It's like people are either like, I'm actively trying very hard to have this child, or there's people who are like, fuck kids, abortion rights, I will never.
Remember that one person who at your job who was like, who went off because somebody was like, oh, are you pregnant? Are you having a baby? And wrote a whole manifesto about.
We were just talking about that. We were just fucking talking about that the other day.
Fuck up.
So it's just interesting to see how they depict it because, again, Emma Roberts in the show, and it's, all this creepy shit around. It's a creepy show. It's supposed to be scary.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch it.
She's trying to get pregnant, right? So it's just showing her journey with IVF and trying to get pregnant. And then she lives in like either LA or New York. I can't remember. But there's girls around her who are just like, why the fuck would I have a kid right now? And, and you're like, this is the most realistic shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But Kim does a good job. We love to see it. The Summer I Turned Pretty. Did you ever watch that show?
Nope.
I watched the second season. What the fuck is wrong with people? It was the weirdest shit. It made me feel like I was 15 and vying for attention.
17 again?
Basically. I watched that, and I watched something else on Netflix that I can't remember. So that's it. What did you watch?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
So I just fucking gibbed and gabbed?
I've just been trying to finish Dear Child.
What's Dear Child?
On
Oh, that
Netflix.
weird show. Okay.
Yeah, but it was getting too late, so I was like, I don't feel like going down these rabbit holes and all this shit.
Did you watch What the Fuck is the Show with Jennifer Coolidge?
Oh, no.
Fuck me. What the fuck is that called? White Lotus. Did you watch White Lotus?
Nope.
Okay.
Sure didn't.
The girl from White Lotus.
I want to go see The Equalizer Part 3. And
in movie theaters. Let's go see it.
Can you just put it on Prime or something? I can pay for it to rent it, please?
You just don't want to leave the house, huh?
No. I got popcorn at my house.
I'm trying to find the Netflix show that I just watched. Give me 1 second. It was cute. It was a cute movie if you just want something in the background. Love at First Sight. It was a cute little Netflix rom-com.
Oh, cool.
If you're looking for something light.
That's awesome. I love that.
But I will say, what's funny about me is I just feel like everyone's toxic as fuck and every love story is fucked. And essentially this movie is about this girl and this guy who meet on a plane and they're both just going to the same place. They hit it off and then of course things happen. So they don't
What is this, a goddamn Hallmark movie?
Basically, they don't get each other's number. And the whole time I was like, oh, he's about to get married. Oh, he just flirted with this girl for 7 hours on a plane and he's engaged. Oh, he's a piece of shit. None of that was true.
I need you to get healed. I need you to go to therapy. Who hurt you?
After saying all that, I was like, oh, he's just being nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Everybody's not always. It's amazing that the people who are genuine, you're like, they're out to get me. But the people who actually want to kidnap you, you're just like, oh, my heart, I love them.
Something ain't right. That's called
I need you
mental
to just
illness.
Flip it. Just flip it.
The fucking wires are crossed.
We just need to.
I know.
We need to make sure the wires.
It's all to advance the plot. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, anyway.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here?
No, this was not supposed to be this long.
No, it was not.
I'm not sorry for it. But.
No, it was. I think it's great content. But anyway, this week is going to be an amazing week on purpose, y'all. Y'all remember to spread love,
spread light,
and don't forget
to laugh your face off. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off every Tuesday where new episodes are released.